What's up, everybody? Crypto Picasso here. Just a quick little video update on Bitcoin. Just want to show you what I see going on with Bitcoin because it does seem like it's leaning towards the analysis of continuation. So just kind of look at a couple things here. First of all, let's start with the weekly. And you can see here, we've opened the weekly yesterday and we started back up again. Now this is to me, this is a very bullish sign. Although the momentum hasn't shifted just yet, I feel like it has yet to come because this is going to lead into a very big move. When we look at the monthly, the momentum from coming into December is still up, like very much so. So I would expect this to continue and grow with the momentum into January and even February before we start to lose momentum in this wave set. So now, going back to the smaller time frames, let's just kind of point some things out. Actually, let me go back to like the daily. And remember, I'm looking at a lot of charts now through the logarithmic chart. The only thing that it doesn't really work good for is things that expanded from very low to very high. Like when you try to look at Digibyte here, like all this lower section here of the market just looks confusing. Okay, it just like kind of looks like this. But if you switch out a log chart, it makes a lot more sense. But I'm basically looking at a lot of cryptocurrency charts throughout the logarithmic chart now because they are expanding in price, and we have to start looking at the bigger picture. A lot of these markets are very new, and they are now expanding in price a lot with the new money that's coming in. So it just makes sense, especially with Bitcoin, to look at Bitcoin in the logarithmic chart. I mean, when we look at it like this, it makes sense. It has flow. It has structure. When we look at it like this, it just, everything back here, it's hard to include it in your analysis. So that's why we're looking at it in the logarithmic chart now. And just going to lay out some parameters here like I did from the last video. This right here was the break, okay, of the 2016 trend and the test of it. And then down here, this would be the break of the 2017 trend and then the test of it right here. Now, I really do think that we're going to continue on. It's kind of like the chart I put on Twitter the other day. If we are going to, there's my Twitter here, one second. If we're going to continue, we had to hold this point right here. This is like the make it or break it point. When we tested this trend line right about here at about 11,000, 10,700, about there, that was the make it or break it point. If it fell below that, then this structure was invalid and it wasn't going to continue. But the fact that we held this point really does open up the door to this higher impulsive market structure. So here's what I see now. It's going to start to become more and more obvious as we climb higher. When we get above 16,000, I feel like the FOMO is really going to start to kick in. A lot of people aren't sure what's going on right now, but let's just break it down. All right, this is getting very advanced in price here. And from what I see, here's the resistance that we broke. Okay, right here. About right here. Okay, when we go back, let's kind of look at a mid time frame. That all kind of lines up with the resistance that was broken. Bring this up just a little bit, right about there. So we've broken through this into a new trend that has been formed. And I'm really taking this now as my new trend line. From here until something shifts and show me otherwise, this is now a potential trend that we are setting here. From this low here, where we broke the resistance, tagged it, and then we made another low right here. So I'm considering this a new trend, the 2018 possible trend. Okay. Now, since to me this entire thing has unfolded in Elliott wave structure, I don't see it changing. That 3 and the 3 and 5 motion of the fear and the greed and its relationship to Fibonacci just is going to keep repeating itself. So I see this as a possible 1 and 2 of a larger structure to come, and now we're going to make a move up to 30, 40,000, come back down and check that 20,000 previous top, and then make another run up. I do think that we are going to run for 6 digits a lot faster than most people think. I said this last week that I think that we're going to visit 100,000 a lot sooner than previously expected, and I think it's just going to really surprise a lot of people because we're not just talking about something that we're trading on the chart here. We're talking about the adoption of a very disruptive technology. So every time we shift trend and we don't get a deep retracement, you have to reanalyze the chart and say, well, if this isn't going down, then how is it going to go up? And I'm seeing that it's going to go up the same way that it's been going up in Elliott wave structure and Elliott wave form. So for me now, we bought here around 11,000 after I made that last video, and I just held on to that trade. Like I said, if it stopped me out at break even, I would just take the stop out and reassess it, but it didn't come back down and stop me out. So I'm gonna hold that margin long because it's a winner now. I didn't want to keep trying to take the trade. I basically entered on that video about 11,000 and said, hey, if it stops me out, I'll reassess it. Otherwise, I'm just going to let it ride and let the market do what it's going to do. And the market did what I thought it was going to do, which was basically make a higher low right here and then come and break the downward resistance right here. Okay, this was a downward resistance trend right about here. Okay. And then we broke that yesterday. Let's kind of zoom in on that on like the hourly. And you can see pretty clearly here how from the top we started trending down, down, down. And then we met resistance here, 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 and then we finally, boom, we broke it. Now, we're kind of trending out in a little bit of a channel here, a bullish channel, but I think that we're going to break that channel and get a little bit more impulsive as well. This was kind of like trending like this for support and also trending within here as a resistance channel, part of the resistance of this channel right about here. So we could trade within this channel. You know, if it makes this next impulsive move up, it could maybe hit about right here, 15.9, which is kind of falls in line with these tops and these bottoms. So kind of keep this line on your chart for not a permanent resistance, but a kind of like a, if you're trading on margin, you may want to keep this line up here as far as like, if we make another impulsive move of, $1,000 or so, that's probably where we're going to meet resistance before we back down. And then we could hit the bottom of this channel again. So we could kind of range out in here for a little while before we really get impulsive again. And I just want to point out, like I talked about a couple videos ago, go back to the higher time frames here, the day. I just want to point out too that we are in the not as impulsive moon phase, meaning that, like I said, there's 3 supermoons that are going to happen where the moon is the closest to the Earth. And they're going to happen 3 in a row. And this is basically the first supermoon was right here, okay, where we made this run here. Okay. And now we're in this band right here where the market, it's kind of interesting because right as we came to the new moon phase, right about here, the market changed. And it's kind of like the momentum was lost. The crazy energy of buying the market kind of fell away a little bit. And now we met some support. We're still holding trend. We're starting to kind of work our way out of here, but we're not super impulsive just yet. So the new moon will go back to the full moon again. I'm pretty sure it's the 2nd of January or so. So right about here. So I really think that this moon phase right here is we're gonna progress. We may chop around in here a little bit, but I really feel like as soon as we get back into the full moon phase, and since it's another super moon, it is really just adding the fuel to this fire, and it's going to help us make this next third leg. Because what I see is a new Elliott wave forming. Okay, the new Elliott wave forming from back here. So this would be like an entire 1 wave up. This was the 2. This third leg up is moving, but it's not very impulsive just yet. I really feel like we go through another week of just slow progression in price here, and then we come into this next moon phase, it's really going to take off, and then really fulfill that third wave and really get the market behind it and the bullish energy behind it. Once that happens, we'll be able to lay out some more parameters as far as if we're going to lay within this channel, if we're going to stick to like this channel of resistance. Okay, because this one back here had this channel resistance for a while. So if this trend here is forming, we very well may stay within this channel of resistance and support right here, this new laid out channel. So I will be looking for that to make a move up. With the full moon, I mean, this thing could really run up to the 30, 40,000. Like I said, I really think that we're going to hit six figures a lot faster than most people think that we are. So right here about the second, I really feel like we're going to get more impulsive in the market. But the fact that this is just normal, like I said in the last video, it seemed really drastic when we went from 5,000 to 20,000, and then we sold back down to 10,000. But for this type of market structure, that move was very normal. It was within technical spec right here. It basically tagged the 61% retracement, and it also tagged this resistance line, now telling me that is supportive right there. So we're progressing in price and we're moving here, and I really feel like we might chop around here for another week and just kind of slowly progress until we come up to around New Year's and then really start to move in with the new year. But price really, it does look like it's flagging up here again. Like this looks like a little mini flag on the hourly right through here where it looks like it wants to continue on. So if this thing jumps again in price, it will likely jump possibly to about here. This next, let's see, this was the 61%. Here is about the 50. Here's the 38 right here. Here's the 25. So we can make a push up to the 25%. I don't want to confuse you guys with the Fibonacci. I'm still measuring the retracement move. This isn't the actual extension back up the way I would measure it, but I'm just saying this was the 61, this was the 50, this was the 38. As a representation, this could make a move back up here to about 16. Let's see what the Fib tells us. About 16.6, 16.5, right in this area. And it would still be hitting this channel of resistance right here. So if you guys are trading this on margin and you're hopping in this late, if you didn't get back down here when we originally caught it, then just be mindful. This thing could make a nice move up like this today, even tomorrow, up to here, and then sell back down. Okay, that's what I'm looking for Bitcoin. I'm just going to hold this right here from down here, about 11,000 or so. Just hold this and let this ride out on margin because this is turning into a very good winning trade now. I'm not even thinking about selling any of my spot coins because I really feel like this is manifesting the analysis towards 100,000. And I do think it's going to happen a lot faster than a lot of people think it will. I'm thinking probably by March or April, we're going to be in the 6 digits on Bitcoin because we have shifted and we've shifted the angle of our trend, and we've also become supportive in other areas. It's kind of like we went into the 5 digits, ran all the way up to almost 20,000, and the market is accepting that 5-digit psychology, and now we're carrying on. So once we clarified support right in this area, it really is opening the door to much higher prices. So as long as we stay on this track, I'm still looking for 100,000 in the next couple months. I don't think that's going to affect our altcoin plays so much. I think it's going to be the usual ebb and flow. Mostly every altcoin that we've taken a signal for, it's because it has its own market cycle that is growing and expanding in price. So if Bitcoin gets a little bit impulsive, those altcoins will probably just sell back a little bit to a retracement point, to a supportive area, and then continue on. I still think there's a big advantage to playing the alts at this time because I see altcoins as a vehicle to double, triple your Bitcoin. And as long as we get in the altcoins at the right time, we're still doubling or tripling our Bitcoin, and the price of Bitcoin is anticipated to go up as well. So it's a kind of a way to make more Bitcoin while Bitcoin is going up. Also, um, I think that, well, yeah, like I said, I think that we could probably run up to about here, about 16.5, then fall back, and then maybe do a retracement of this entire move. We may even fall back to 14.5 by New Year's, because and kind of trade in this area where we kind of make a move up, like a sub wave up, like this, and then come back down like this, and then around the end of the year, or when that new moon, the next full moon phase comes, then we really start to get impulsive and work our way up. All right. So I'll be doing a full market review probably tomorrow on like a lot of the altcoin markets. I don't want to do the review today because it seems like a lot of them have already made very impulsive moves and they're kind of falling back to trend. So I want to see that coins like Digibyte, Siacoin, Library Credits, a lot of the bigger ones that I was expecting and I talked about a few weeks ago, that they hold the retracement from the moves that they just made, because they're going to create a whole new opportunities to trade to get in them on the retracement for the next potential 200 to 300%. All right, guys. So this is what I see for Bitcoin. Um, I would not go chasing it though. Like I said, I really feel like the next week or so is still not going to be super impulsive. It's going to be progressive, but not super impulsive until the new moon phase kicks in. All right, guys, keep stacking it. Cheers.